right, hello, and welcome to the first ever DayZRP Podcast. My name is RPShilo, and I'm here with Gaylaxy and Mason. If you guys want to introduce yourselves, go ahead.
Hello, Mason. Yeah.
What is up, my dude?
I don't got an introduction.
Hey, talk about whatever you feel like about yourself, man.
I am a very good role player on DayZRP, and I deserve to be taken off a final warning as soon as possible.
Shameless, actually shameless.
Actually, shameless.
All right, I'm Gaylaxy. Been in the community for a while. I'm now in staff.
Yeah.
Hating life.
Staff, woo, staff.
Yeah. No, it's all right.
Well, so I've been in the community since November of 2020, so these guys know more than I do, unfortunately.
Shiloh is kind of dumb, but
Yeah, I am kind of dumb, you know.
just see that's not Flame. He said it himself.
Not flaming, not flaming.
All right, should we move on to our topics?
Oh yeah.
Should we get the elephant out of the room? The big first one.
The big first one, the big elephant. That
Yeah, Hofer, killing Roland to become the new leader of DayZRP.
Yeah,
Like when they
that was a hard
big
initiation.
duel.
Trial by
Yeah,
combat.
they got in game, and Hofer initiated on Roland. Roland was taken by surprise because he doesn't play very much, and Hofer got the jump on Roland. Hofer, there's a rumor that he did spawn in his foul to kill Roland, so it's kind of
Kind of
foul
unfair,
play
you know.
there.
Foul play. Oh my god.
Yo, get out.
Yeah, that was
Get out.
terrible.
Get out. That's terrible. All right, first episode over. Let's go.
All right.
Done.
All right, but on a real note, Hoffer taking over. What do you guys think about that? It's kind of big.
It's very big.
DayZRP's been up for a really long time under the jurisdiction of Roland. Alex, what do you think? You've been here longer than both of us. What do you think? You think this is good, bad? Nothing's really gonna change? Or
I think this is a positive thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with a bit of variety. Like, obviously, Roland's still gonna be involved, like on a management side, or more of a server management side, but he's still gonna be like there. It's not like he's going away. Just Hoffer's taking more of a lead on a community perspective, which is a positive thing because it's nice to have a little bit of change after like a heavy 10 years nearly of
10 years.
on this show.
I think that Roland, sorry, that Hofer is a lot more hands-on, at least as of recently, than Roland has been. I mean, Roland hasn't played the server actively since 2013, like when it was still the Arma 2 mod.
Yeah.
And this isn't to discredit Roland, but I think Roland did a much better job at managing a server that he wasn't like fully involved in, at least in terms of the in-game perspective of it. He managed that for 9 years basically, where he I don't know. I don't think many people could have kept DayZRP going as long as he did without actually being involved with like what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though there's definitely a lot of dips, a lot of things that could have been done better. Hindsight's 2020, and you do your best as you go along. And I think he did a more than good job of keeping the server on track, even if definitely didn't turn out well. But I do think Hofer coming in is a good thing. I have a lot of respect for Hofer. He was usually like my go-to admin for a lot of things way back when, and I trust him. But I think this is going to be good for him to take over. I think we're going to see a lot of things change when he's already started restructuring stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Hoffer's been around for a while as well, so it's not like Hoffer's been around for a long time, like longer than me.
I am curious while we're on the topic of Hofer, and what he might be, doing. That whole list that was posted in the forums. I don't know if you guys recall. It was like Hofer's list of things that he wanted to change before he was even owner.
I didn't see it. I need to go back and see it.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was a few things on there, and there was a lot. But I think the biggest one, at least to me, was he mentioned a proper second amnesty wave. Shiloh, what he said. He said it's something he'd want to charge like 25 euros, and then it'd only be open for a couple months for people to come back.
That's actually not a terrible idea, to be honest. I wouldn't mind
Just
that.
saying, I'm curious what your guys' opinions are here.
I mean, if he does do a second amnesty wave with $25 during that like open period, that I wouldn't mind it at all, to be honest, because you're not spending way too much in order to get back into the community.
Yeah, Galaxy. What do you think of a second episode? Have you been here longer?
When the first amnesty wave came around in 2018, it had the same problems that it does now. A lot of people who just don't want some people back in the community because X, Y, and Z or whatever. But
Would you say it generally turned out well?
genuine. Obviously, you get the people who ruin it for everyone else. You always get those people. Those people don't go. But like,
You get a couple of bad apples.
yeah, you always get a couple of bad apples. But overall, it's not a bad thing. But like, I think what people are concerned about is what people have actually been permabanned for, and that's why the amnesty is still like case by case, but it's a little bit more lenient than you've got a line for your name, you're not coming back kind of thing.
Right.
I don't think they'll. I think it really depends what you get banned. Like if you get pushed over because you're in final warning of unnecessary posts, that's just bad luck, really, isn't it?
I think, truth be told, if you're like, this is my opinion on this. I think if you were banned for just about anything, other than something that's severe, such as like abusive behavior,
Doxing
or
kind of stuff.
doxing, like for most in-game rule breaks, I'd say stay. Like, I guess if you just have repeated like RDM or KOS, then obviously you shouldn't be here. But like, I think generally speaking, if you have an in-game rule break, if it's not repeated over and over and it's still like a one-time thing, I don't think that you should stay perm banned, especially if you're not getting banned for the same thing over and over, because it means you're at least trying, I guess. And I think that's all you can ask people to do. Some people are, I don't know. There's plenty of people that have played the server and have never broken rules over like the 9 years it's been up. I do think that there's a lot more people that are, prone to getting permed off of an in-game rule break that might not be as severe as it seems.
Right.
And I think that all those people should be allowed back.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Like you said, people who dox, people who tendy, people who blackmail, all that type of stuff shouldn't be allowed back. That's a whole different thing. Um, but yeah, anything in-game related, I'd say they should be allowed back unless they have just a repeated history of trolling or something.
Right.
Like,
anything else on well, I mean, any other opinions on an amnesty wave, gentlemen?
Nah, I think I'm good with that.
I think a mentor would be it's gonna be a good thing. Like they get like newer players who maybe haven't been in the community as long if they want to come back as well. It's not just like old and bold. There are a few like new players who just get permed for silly things.
I think the thing is with the sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead, my dude. Go ahead.
I think with the mentor role, I think it sounds good on paper, but I really don't think it's an effective way of doing things. I don't think new players want to come to a community and then just be like, okay, I'm gonna join. I think most new players that join without friends will be like, okay, I'm gonna play DayZ. Most of them have at least played DayZ before. Usually, not many brand new people that have never played DayZ join DayZRP right away. I'm pretty sure there's a 10-hour requirement anyway of playing regular DayZ.
Yeah, there is.
I think the mentor role, like I said, sounds good on paper, but I don't think it's going to be used all that much. The most mentoring that you get is like when if you notice a new player in game and you take them under your own wing in game at that point. That's how I've noticed the most effective way of doing things. I've done it a couple times myself to people I've noticed are newer and they've played in our friend group and stuff now. But I think the mentor role program is, I don't know. I don't think it's very effective at a better turnover rate of keeping new players.
So with me, whenever I joined back in November, I was literally a week before Namalsk came out, and like I was a fucking white name, which of course nobody's liking that name right now. It's currently a controversial name. So, but for those of you who don't know what a white name is, pretty much like somebody who has a new player mentality to DayZRP. But essentially,
it's like saying you're a newbie.
Like you don't know how the role play is working, essentially. But whenever I joined, I found Timberwolf, who at the time was really really chill and everything with me, and then I also met Brian on the Namalsk, which, to be honest, both those guys took me under their wing and essentially grew me out of that white name phase. So I mean, it's not a bad idea, but it just depends on with certain people, because some people will be like, "No, I don't need somebody to lecture me on how to do this."
Well, I think most people aren't gonna. They're not gonna think of themselves as a bad RP, or even if they've never RP'd before. They're probably, at least like if I, knowing me, if let's say I was brand new and I saw the mentor program, I probably wouldn't even bother to look at the page. Truth be told, because most of them don't bother to look at the forums unless they're in a report anyway.
Right.
Yeah, from when
Like
I
my,
used to go ahead, go ahead.
sorry. I just say from my own experience, when I first joined, I got whitelisted and probably didn't look at the forums for a whole month. Just ran around in game talking to people, saying hi and bye, because I didn't actually know how to RP.
In 2017 when I first joined, it was it's a different kind of community. It was just like a lot of friendship groups, but there's a lot of friendship groups, a lot of like variety there, a lot of people you can get. There were bad crowds you can get in with, and I definitely did get in with a bad crowd early on because I started getting leveled of warning points. But like when I finally got out of that phase, I went into like an actual RP group. I made a few friends who like more staff driven friends like Jade and Para and Elmo. I kind of joined that little crowd. Ended up learning a lot about RP, and then probably about 8 months later, I became a mentor myself. But I think if I wouldn't have fallen in with like a better crowd than just getting sucked into like the hostile RP firefight mentality that existed back then, like massively, I definitely have a line through my name. But like I feel like when I was a mentor, we had a lot of mentees. Like I definitely mentored 16, 17 people, but it was just the approach that people
Well,
took to it. Like some
at the
people like came in open arms, and other people just thought they knew better than everyone else and ended up leaving because of it.
at that time though, server didn't have a max of 30 people getting on every day. That it was probably had a lot more people getting on,
It had its
right?
downs. I mean, it had its downs. Can't remember what the max server pop was then. I think it was 60. The max server pop wasn't that big either. So we had two servers like that were full, but it was only like 30, 40 people on each one.
So this also brings a question that I just thought about. It's like, so what happens if maybe one mentor is like just purely focuses on hostile RP and doesn't give the other person a chance to experience campfire RP, which
That's
is
what
less controversial.
what we used to have was we had different kind of mentors. Like we had mentors who would specialize in more laid back, neutral kind of campfire RP. We had mentors that would give more creative roles on hostile RP. Like I used to take people out into the woods and I just do like one-on-one like scenarios with them, running for like some creative things, like ideas, like what you can be comfortable with, and just how to make RP flow. Because like it's so lame when you're RPing and then this dude's typing out an emote for about 20 minutes and you're sitting there like just waiting because they haven't really planned out a scenario in their head and just they're just kind of initiated and not gone for the next step. But like,
Right.
and then we just like integrate them into groups. I used to like bringing mentees into groups because it gives like a more realistic scenario of what hostile RP is, other than just initiating, because there's a lot more to it.
So I think I noticed before we switched over to Neheim, because I had started getting really more comfortable with playing and being with a group, which was the Bellic Bar at the time. And another thing I noticed is whenever people do RP and they're doing the / and typing, people tend to pause during that / to read it. So it kind of just like halts the RP for a split minute or so. But it's also really important to pay attention to that a lot more than just, getting everything figured
Yeah,
out.
of course, of course. It's just
You're
making it
like,
flow.
if you're like me and you usually when you read you talk out loud, it really really messes with you. And someone's trying to text RP with you.
I used to
And you
ask hostages questions. I'd ask them a question that would to require a little bit to answer, and then I'd copy and paste a emote like into a notebook, and I just get it ready.
Right.
So then the second they finish answering, I'd be like, right, just smash it straight in chat. It just
see, see, that's
alleviates
good.
the typing, and that's what I still do now. Like it just keeps me more prepared, makes you plan the scenario.
Yeah,
The amount of times I've had text RPers walk up to me though and like be like, "Yo, what's happening?" or something. Or well, I guess that was a terrible example, but like if someone's like, "What?" They'll be they'll be like, "Yo, where's this thing at?" Oh, okay, goodbye, Galaxy. I guess you just went offline. Guess it's just us two, Shiloh.
Oh well, time to do some filler stuff. He's alive. He's alive. He's back.
Experimented.
You alright?
Yeah.
Anyway, like if a text RPer walked up to me and they're like, "Yo, where's this at?" Like they put that in the side chat, like, "Where's that at?" Okay, yeah, no, it's over there. Like I'll read out what they said out loud, and it's forced to have it because I usually read out loud, when I read stuff. So it's kind of awkward because you'll catch it after you've already started. Like, oh, yo,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you're just. It'd be like if we're having a conversation and I just start saying what you just said and then responding to it. You know, it's a little strange.
It is
I'm
hard
not.
sometimes.
I'm not a fan. I mean, I've met a couple people that do text RP really well. But generally speaking, I'm not. I'm not a fan of people who do it. I get some people just. I don't know. If I join an RP community, I expect everyone to have a microphone at least.
I think
Use it.
I think Uni does it pretty well, to be honest.
Uni does it well, but I mean, I'm good friends with Uni, and I still make fun of him for it all the time. But
Yeah. It's
he has his
sometimes you
own
just miss
reasons for
stuff.
that.
You just miss stuff in
Yeah.
chat
Oh
sometimes.
yeah. I'll if I'm talking in a group of people and there's one text RP in there, I'll be honest. It's not that I ignore what they're saying,
You won't
but if they
notice.
try and talk to me and I'm talking to like talking in voice with other people, I won't notice that the chat's even
Yeah.
going.
There's no
Yeah.
like
And it's
VoIP prompt. Like if you like interrupt someone, there's just none of that. It's just straight across.
yeah, no, and it's you know, kind of feel bad when you notice that you skipped over what they
Yeah.
said, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's you know you can't really help it if you don't notice it. Someone talks to you, that's a whole different sense than using your eyes and hoping to catch what like that the text is going in the bottom left.
But of course, all the love to text up here.
There's one
Nah.
prominent texter up here who's on like a lot. If they listen to this, they probably know who they are.
But-
Yeah, Pippa, stop text RPing your voice.
No, no, oh, come on.
What? I'm being serious. I don't like text RPers.
Gotcha.
I can live
Start
with it.
bullying them. I'm gonna start bullying them on the forums.
You
Start
have a life for
tagging,
your name in no time,
tag-
Mason.
tagging people,
Tag
tagging
people left and
prominent
right.
text RPers.
Grey Line Mason.
Gray line Mason.
Gray
It's
line
be a new name
Mason's
on the
best.
forum.
Gray line Mason.
I wish I could. I'm gonna have to ask Hofer. I'm like, yo, can you like give me like a special rank like that puts across my name without actually permabanning me?
People used to do that. They used to take off the profile picture and make the name grey,
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
just people would be like, "Whoa, what the hell?"
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
That's when all lasted.
We're getting off topic here, guys.
Right.
All right, so here we're gonna skip the next one. We're gonna go to an interesting one because the mentor role. I think we covered that. Server population versus RP quantity. I want Galaxy to go first since this is your idea.
I took it out, but I can still talk about.
Yeah.
Oh well, we're still gonna.
Oh,
I think
we can
it's I think
touch
it's
on it.
I think it's interesting for sure. I just
Like
Yeah, I
obviously,
think it's interesting.
I think the server pop dipped like 20 people, but like when it did, I think that the RP quality just like intensified a little bit because there's less people, so you just get more intense storylines.
Yeah, you're
In
filtering
terms of like,
with
yeah,
the more experienced RPers who tend to get on
Yeah.
more.
but like
you're
it's
playing with more people who are more dedicated to the community
Yeah.
than they are.
I mean, I got a 69-day shriek on. Let's go.
But like, I'm not saying this a big server population isn't bad. I'm just saying it does dilute it a little bit, and it's times there's more people monkeying around because they get bored because they
Yeah, but you can
sticking
still
people.
argue the reverse side of that. If there's more people on the server, there's also a chance that there's
That's
more
very
good
true.
RPers on.
That is very true.
I said it before the podcast. I don't think there's any correlation between server population and RP quality. I think, of course, as Galaxy said, if you have more people, you're gonna find more monkeys. I mean, that's how it works, right? But you, in theory, should also find,
Yeah.
you know, more good RPers too that aren't there to monkey. I personally don't see the correlation between it. I do hear what you're saying, that maybe with less people to interact with, it kind of forces you into a situation where you have to have more intense storylines with other people because you have to focus in on a fewer amount of storylines rather than
Yeah, just the
having
general.
a bunch of different a bunch of different ones that are less intense. I see what you mean there, but I do think that there is still that possibility to have just as intense storylines with more storylines as there is to have a fewer amount.
Yeah, of course.
I think
of
it's
course.
just less likely to happen is all.
Yeah, I guess.
And you get the flip side. People burn out of seeing the same people over and over again, like of a low server pop as well. So
Like,
variety
honestly,
is just one.
I had a big like a burnout. Like I was starting to get a burnout because it was just the same people, same things going on and on, nothing really too interesting going on. But that was until, which will be the next topic here in a bit, would be Jackfish. So
Yeah, let's break the takeaway into our breakaway segment and give a round of applause for Jackfish and also Duplessis.
Yeah, the volunteers.
Duplessis, we owe a round of applause to because he also carried the server there for a while before
yeah, he
Jackfish.
did. With
Let's go.
And the
Jackfish.
volunteers. Don't forget the volunteers who do it as well.
Look,
was
the
one of them.
volunteers. Woo! Let's go, everybody.
Pat myself on the back, hell yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You know,
And like twice.
Pat.
I didn't. Nah, I mean it does take all those people to make it happen, but the people who get all the credit is Jackfish and Duplessis. Understandably, they're the ones that come up with the events and direct people. Everybody deserves a little bit of praise, but Jackfish is the face of that. So
Yeah,
thank you, Jackfish, for carrying the server. And
Yeah, he's
for
carrying
anybody-
it.
For anybody that says he's not, just look at the server population every time he does an event. Server population goes from 12 to 40.
It's going up, you know. We
that-
peaked 50
that-
last night, I'm pretty sure.
Hey.
That is something I want to know on. So granted, when I recently got unpermed, it was actually already after all the hype died down on Nihheim. Like when I got on, the peak was 12 players, period. Like when I first got unbanned, and there was a whole lot of ramblings of the community, like DayZRP is just dead. There's no coming back from it. But if you've noticed from these events, people are getting on for events. It means that people want to play the server, but nobody's staying on after events or getting on before events. I shouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people aren't. That's what's irking me. Like, I don't know what the long-term plan is for these events, but I can't imagine Jackfish wants to spend every single day for the rest of the server's history doing an event that gets the server pop up. I think people need to get in game and they need to get storylines between other people that isn't the event team.
Yeah, you need to make their own events as well.
They really do, and I get it. They're interesting. Everybody finds them interesting, and it's not a reason, like everybody should still, try and show up for.
But
the,
it's
for
not
the
the only
events.
thing on the server.
It's not. Yeah. There's other groups to interact with. There's other people to interact with, and there's a whole lot of people right now that are actually looking for groups in game. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. There's a lot of people kind of running around. And so I think that people need to start getting on for more than just the event. I get some people only have a limited time. If that's what they get on for and they enjoy, good for them. But there's a lot of people that are hopping on exclusively for events, and it kind of irks me because there's a lot more to offer than just what the event team has to offer.
Right, and from what I've been told,
I do. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the only thing that I think is when there was a lot of ramblings about the community being, dead and it's not coming back. These events alone prove that people still want to play. They want a reason to play.
Right, and from what I've been told from Jackfish is since that he's like technically on a vacation, quote unquote, from work, he's having more time to do this. But here in like maybe a week or two, he's gonna be starting to do one event per week.
Yeah, see, and I was gonna say, there's no way Jackfish is gonna have enough time to do these events every single day.
Exactly.
We got the event masters coming in to supplement that. See, maybe some new variety of events from different people.
It'd be amazing if we could have these events every single day, or even 4 out of 5 days of the the work week.
Yeah.
But
I'm feeling that Bishop's gonna be doing it too.
Bishop is gonna appear. I love Bishop.
Yeah.
But I do think that at some point the community needs to figure out that they need to RP with the rest of the community, not just the event team. Don't get me wrong, I think what's happening in lore right now on the server is very interesting, but I do think that people, if you're invested enough into like RP between groups, I do think that can be just as interesting as these events. These events are cool because they have staff tools in them that make like you spawn hordes of zombies, stuff like that. But in terms of storyline RP, I think group RP kind of takes the cake there still in terms of story building.
Yeah, of course.
Because lore is with everybody, but if you want to talk about your own personal character, it's gonna grow best, at least in my opinion, with other groups. And I
Right.
just wish people would get on for that rather than just the events.
There's been a good bit of group RP in the last couple of weeks,
I would
like
agree.
group wise.
Yeah.
A lot of different dynamics coming in from different people.
Well, and if the amnesty wave went through, sorry to circle back just a
No,
little
it's
bit. If
alright.
the
No, it's fine.
there's a lot of friend groups that are missing. Just by the way, we gotta be careful mentioning names here. We're not trying to get glorifying here.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
We're trying to post this on the forums. But there's a lot of friend groups that are missing. You know, like friend groups that are anywhere from 8 to 15 people, right? That are missing just a couple of friends. Now, if those friends were banned for like we mentioned earlier, blackmail, anything like that, then yeah, that's obviously we don't want them back. But there's a lot of friend groups that were in the similar situation I was in, where they were banned for an in-game rule break, and all their friends stopped playing for a while, and then their friends just want to play with them, and in turn, by unbanning 1 or 2 people, you also bring back 8 more people that were their friends that they wish to play with. So it's kind of more than just unbanning players from earlier. Sorry to circle back. I just thought it was worth
No,
noting
No,
it's all
yeah, it's
interlinked,
all
isn't it?
good.
So we've got knock-on
Um,
effects.
Good old domino effect.
yeah. Anything else that you guys have in mind?
Um, hmm. I know we're talking about the white name situation. Like I mentioned that
Oh,
pretty earlier. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, everyone is a new player at some point, right?
Yeah.
I see both sides of the whole argument. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's better to just not insult people with any whatever. I do think that it may have originated as a genuine basically a way of calling someone like a noob on Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
Someone's bad at Call of Duty, you call them a noob. I think to me it's the same thing. If the community's wishes and the rules state that don't be calling people that, then I won't, and I understand why. I do think um maybe it's being taken a little bit overboard. I guess when Hofer's thread said stop uh punish white name hate what was it, harshly or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the simple joke of calling people a white name, or if it was just
The
if
way we
he
treat
meant.
them.
Yes, I don't really know which one it meant. Maybe it meant both. I'm going to treat it as if it meant both for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
And I want to.
but I'm just curious if he was using white name as like a term to describe the new players, or if he was saying don't be calling people white names anymore. It's
I think
kind
it's
of a
more
weird.
of the like.
Oh, you
I
can
wouldn't
go.
say it's massively. It's like the elitist kind of, like the
It
stereotypical
is.
elitist kind of sits in a campfire, won't invite anyone who wants to be in the community for 2+ years kind of mentality that did exist prior. I haven't seen too much of it since coming back.
Yeah.
Like I only came back like maybe a month and a half
And you
ago.
know
I
what it
haven't seen any of
is.
it, but
A lot of people think they're important because of the number of followers and opinions
yeah,
they have on the
Yeah.
DayZRP forums, and it's stupid. It's like, I mean, I think that system is good because it lets you know who has been around and who has who's maybe more of a pillar in the community. But the people that use that same system, they're like, okay, well, I'm better than all these people because I have this X amount of
yeah.
beans on a website
I
and
joined in
this
the
X amount of
States, so I'm
followers.
Yeah.
superior kind of bullshit.
I do
Yeah,
want to tie this back.
I'm a 2014 player, man. I'm obviously know more than you do, and I haven't
Yeah.
played the server in 2 years, but I do know more than you.
I want to tie this back to the server population real quick because I've noticed a lot with when new players come in and the server is pretty low. People who don't really have anything to do except for just run around and like just create RP, they usually go after these new players a lot. And I've seen a lot of like hostile actions taken. I'm not gonna name
Let's not name
names.
drop here. Okay, as you say, I think we all know who we're thinking of. I think, but
Oh, I meant like just in
Galaxy.
general. Like
Okay,
I've
I
seen
got
more
you.
than one person like do this.
I'm
On
just
server.
thinking of a specific person of mine.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I know what you mean. What you mean? So
I think that what happens, I see happens, I see, and I don't think that you should. I don't think it's necessarily fair to worry about server pop when you're doing in-game actions. That said, I do think that, especially when server pop is low, if you're gonna go around and you're gonna rob all these new players and you're gonna give them some half-assed RP and go in on them for like one tiny mistake that they made, I personally think that's scummy. But at the end of the day, it's all an IC thing, right? But
Right.
that is my OOC opinion on it. What happens IC happens
Happens in IC.
IC, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's how it should always be dealt with 100% of the time.
Meeting
But
people
from
in
an
the middle.
yeah, but I think that it does irk me to see in such a low server pop, seeing some people go around and rob all these white names for the smallest tiny reason that they can find, and then give them the most half-assed RP that they could, and then send them on the way. Then those new players don't come back.
Like
Um,
there was an incident
I am
yesterday. Oh, sorry.
uh I'm gonna bring up one name here. It's not in a bad light. Do you guys know Billy from in game, right?
Yes, Death Wish. I think.
So, yep. So when I first met him, he's a newer player. When I first met him, he had just gotten robbed of all of his stuff, whatever, and he was actually about to get out. He told me, oh, see, after he was about to get off the server, um, and never get back on because he didn't enjoy it.
Oh, I know what you're talking
But
about. I was there when that happened.
yeah, but because me and my friends we helped him out right after whatever happened. I don't want to go into details.
Yep.
He I don't think he's played in a couple days, but he usually plays every day now. Which is good to see. I think we have plenty of new people join, but our turnover rate for keeping them on here is just terrible. Like
It's pretty
and
bad.
I don't and that mentor program I sure will help with it, right?
Yeah.
But um I think the turnover rate could be a lot better.
Oh yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah. A lot of people join and they see like they can't meet anyone in game because they just don't know how to like. I feel like some people join, they don't, like you said, they don't use the forums, they don't know about Radio Thread, they don't know about like any of the OOC IC stuff, and then
See,
they kind
that's
of
how
just
I
wander
was.
around and try to find people, and then they just get bored, and then log off.
I'm gonna bring up an incident that happened yesterday. I no 2 days ago. It was on Red Sky's live stream. If you want to go and check that out. But what happened is this guy.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, I know. I have to help him out. Plug him and all that.
I got you. Keep going.
But essentially what happened is one of these new players came up and drove up with a scrap car, which for people who don't know is lore wise, or I guess canonically, Raiders, a
By
Raiders car.
Raiders.
Yeah.
By Raiders.
It's
Lords,
owned
their
by
car.
Raiders. Yeah, so nobody can really like take that car, or they'll say they're stealing it and all that. So what happened is this guy rolled up with the car. He's new. He's like, yeah, man, I got this car. It's my car. Built all this. And matter of fact, Red Sky and maybe one or two other Raiders was there when he pulled up. And they're like, nah, this isn't your car. This is ours. Yada yada. And the guy kept on insisting, nope, it's my car. I bought this, or I got this. Yada yada. He gets in the car, and that's when we initiate on him. It's like, hey, get out the car, buddy. This isn't your car. And he proceeded to start driving off, so we lit him up. And after that happened, he went on the DayZ Discord and complained and literally left the community right after that incident had happened. Like, he just left the Discord and hasn't been on since. So, for a new player for that to happen, I can see it's a little frustrating for him, but at the same time, if this mentor program had maybe, been in effect before Hofer stepped up, maybe he could have avoided that entire situation.
Perhaps, yeah, and I think a lot of that. Sorry, I got a DM on Discord. It threw me off. I think I just completely lost track of what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So in terms of that, to me, granted, I do not know this guy in any way, shape, or form. So this is me making pure assumptions. I think that mentality right there of leaving the server, I do think that's like he joined DayZRP and he thought it was going to be more of a PvE server where people don't do anything like that, right? No initiation stuff like that. Because I don't know about you guys, but I've spent an extensive amount of time not in DayZRP for various reasons. And I have spent a lot of time in other RP communities outside of DayZRP, and almost all of them are like that, where they you're not allowed to do anything hostile, or it's not that you're not allowed to, but they don't like it
Condone
in
it,
any way,
yeah.
shape, or form at all. And it's more of a everyone sit around a campfire and talk type servers. That's how
Yeah.
most of them are. Um,
I don't think
yeah,
anyone's filtered through Daisy roleplay. Like just Daisy roleplay as like a niche without going into Daisy RP. Like it is the main one, and like there's been a lot of communities like on Discord that just die out because they just don't have the stability, money, or play
I think
like to keep
Stock.
that going.
I could be wrong here, but I believe Stalker Z is the only server that is
Still like up.
Yeah,
it's a Discord run community, and
yeah.
it's doing really really well,
I've never
very
personally
well.
seen it. I've never been there either. I've
Um,
literally just come back to the
I
niche recently. I'm not gonna advertise it or anything. Just
Oh no, I know. I didn't personally enjoy it too much, but what I will say is that server was very very immersive when you get in. Um,
yeah.
but that's its own thing.
Yeah. Other communities have come and gone though, but like obviously it's good. Like competition's always a good thing because it forces Daisy RP to up its game a little bit for everyone. It's not a definitely not a bad thing, and variety is a nice thing as well.
Oh, we do got one more. We do got another
Oh
topic. Yeah,
yeah,
what's
I
our
just
runtime at right now?
we're at 36 minutes, almost 37.
Okay, we're fine.
Oh,
Um,
I thought of another topic, but I'm pretty sure you mentioned this before we started, Mason.
Mr. Moon playing
Yep,
the other day,
yep, Mr. Moon.
and what that means.
Yeah. Now, frankly, I literally had to have somebody explain to me who Mr. Moon was and what he did and like why he's so significant. But Mr. Moon, from basically what I've been told, was a. Is he does he still stream? I don't know if he does.
Mm, Probably, I'd say no. He probably does, but not very often.
Right, and then he also
I
makes.
don't pay attention.
He made a YouTube like last time he made a YouTube video was like a year ago almost. So
Um,
go ahead, Mason.
but okay, so he was on the server the other day, and what that means is nobody really knows. Here, give me one second. Galaxy, you explain. I need a minute.
Yeah, he's come back, but like hopefully he comes in, he can bring himself. Obviously, he's a good RPer himself. We can also bring in like the people around him. Obviously, people come just to RP with him. That has its own problems, but that nothing against it. Just it's just a natural knock-on effect of bringing significant people into the server. They come for him and they stay for him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
A bit to run him into the game, but that has led to people KOSing him and all sorts of stuff. But the staff team's good here, so
They can
they're normally
avoid
quite
that,
on it.
yeah.
But back in the day, it was like 4 pages of reports and take 3 weeks to
Jeez.
get logs. It was pretty crazy.
Jesus.
But like I was looking at his Twitch now. He hasn't streamed in a year, and he hasn't done anything on YouTube in a year.
Yeah.
But like what he used to do was a lot of like Daisy, not just Daisy roleplay, but as a server, but Daisy roleplay as a niche itself.
Yeah.
But like
He
it's good if he it's one more roleplay to come back. If he brings in a community with him, then hopefully they can
believe
integrate.
believe we've always referred to them as Mr. Moon Waves.
Yeah,
Lot of new players.
Sideway.
Sidewave.
A lot of new players come through. Even if he hasn't uploaded in a year, streamed in a year, if he came back and I could be wrong, but last time he played, he only streamed it a couple times. It was all of his friends that were streaming around him. And then he uploaded the video, the YouTube video, obviously. But we always called them Mr. Moon Waves. It's usually you usually have to open up a second server to host them
Jeez.
because it's a lot of people.
The thing I have been wondering, I know like probably not a big possibility, but is there possibly any slightly chance that Sison will be back? I don't think there will be though.
I don't.
Rumor has it that probably 3-4 weeks ago now, he was apparently streaming. And granted, I didn't see this firsthand. This is only what I've heard. He was streaming something, and someone went on his live stream and either donated or asked or whatever something. He saw it, and they asked like, "Yo, what are the chances that you ever return DayZRP?" They have a new Twitch 2S rule. They have a brand new exclusive map, and he allegedly said that he was interested, um, like in the new Twitch 2S rules and the new map, and that he would be willing to put his history behind him with Roland. Um, so I don't
And
know.
and now
That's
that
a
Roland
rumor.
stepped down, there's maybe even a slightly more possibility.
Maybe. He I don't know. He said that he apparently, this is all allegedly, by the way. I don't
Allegedly,
know
yeah.
if this for sure happened, but this is what I heard. So that
I'm pretty sure
definitely be
he's been hitting 5M pretty hard recently. Oh,
a lot of people are hitting 5M
Yeah,
right
I've
now.
noticed that. Yeah.
And I can't blame them. 5M has come a long way. When I first played 5M, it was terrible, but there's some good communities out there nowadays. But that's a whole other story, not related.
yeah.
Um,
I think it's a
I don't
positive
know.
thing. It can't be a bad thing really. Like it comes
There
with a few
is
bad apples, but hey ho, we'll deal with that if it comes.
there's always there's always simple possibility. This is just the last thing I wanted to talk about. If Daisy isn't gonna be around forever, nor DayZRP, do you guys think that this is a community that just disbands at the end of whatever that timeline is, or do you think it's something that we try and move games, such as hold out till Arma 4 comes out or something?
What I'm thinking is that I think a good chunk of the community will stay and like move to a different platform while everybody else like splits off to do their own things, like
Yeah.
separate
I
communities and
think
all that.
I my what I'm trying to get at is, do you think like the heads of DayZRP, if that's Hofer and Roland whenever that
Oh,
time comes, or
gotcha.
if it's someone else, do you think that they keep the community up and switch it to another game, or do you think that they just kind of like you get that announcement one day on the forums like, hey, we're shutting down the server's shutting down in 2 days, the forums will be up for another week, and then that's it.
Um,
Whatever, if that were to happen, there would definitely be some sort of backup community that someone tries to boot up off it. I mean, it's happened with other RP servers in the past, such as Red Zone turning into Kinship, stuff like that, where the same people join, like, make their own new community.
I
Um,
think
I'm just curious what you guys think. Do you guys think that at the end of it, Roland Hofer, who's ever in charge when that day comes, which
pulls the
it
plug.
will, yeah, do you think that they try and switch to a new game, such as Arma 4, that will probably be out in 4 or 5 years, hopefully?
I
Um,
think Daisy still has a pretty good lifespan on it. Like I
I
think if you asked this question 2 years ago before modding was released, I would agree. Like say I'd honestly say like the community would. I don't think they could move the whole community against. Like what would happen if people would try to find something else to role play on, and then friends of friends, because everyone's friends with
Yeah.
friends of someone in the community. You know what I mean? And there's always that knock on. But some people would just straight quit, and other people would just move on. But like, I don't think there'll be a mass migration to another game. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I was gonna say, I guess I more meant like, do you think that the official DayZRP, like, they would switch their game, from Daisy standalone? I mean, they did it from the mod to standalone way back when, and for a while there, they had an Arma 3 server up as well for DayZRP.
I think
So it's
I think they would switch games probably to Arma, but I think they would
Oh
keep
yeah, I do too. I don't, unless a Daisy standalone 2's coming out that I don't know about. Like,
unless we don't know about that. I don't think that's
Bohemia
gonna
ain't got
I
happen.
don't.
nothing up their sleeve.
They're probably done with this whole Daisy project at this point. They're probably over it.
But I think what
They're
will
just trying to
happen,
salvage reputation.
I think if they do move games to like Arma, I think they would keep all the Daisy RP stuff like in an archive to where people can go back and look at everything that happened. Like keep everything like in
No,
what
I
you
don't.
remember and all
I don't
that.
think the
I
forums
don't.
would ever go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. If I was shutting down my server, I'd shut down the forums. I'd back it all up somewhere and then stop paying paying
I
the
mean,
service for it.
I'd make people to where they won't be able to post on that anymore, but they can still go back and like look at everything.
Yeah, I guess maybe. Um, I don't know. Just interesting because every other community I know on DayZ, like when one community dies, the next one pops up. It's just the same old community, but just with a different server name. Um, and, I don't think DayZRP is going to shut down until DayZ or the DayZ roleplay scene is dead entirely. which
Yeah.
I think the Daisy roleplay scene will die before Daisy the game dies. But that's just
I
what I
mean,
think.
if you notice, there's always like the wave to it, like, oh, DayZRP is gonna die, and then all of a sudden it springs back to life, and then goes back to dead. Like it's just a loop on it.
I'd say it's always been like that, and I think Galaxy could probably speak on that more than us. You know, I joined I joined when the saviors were the saviors and the Electro Commune were fighting each other. I don't recall what the server population was back then, but when I really started playing, it was right before the Mr. Moonwave hit. And I've noticed ups and downs, but Galaxy's probably seen them a lot more than I have.
It always happens. Like every few months, it's like, oh, Daisy roleplay's dead. Everyone like quits or whatever, and there's always the stubborn few who stay, and then slowly, like even now it's happening. We hit a low, and now slowly we're building back up, and
So
it's just keeping that momentum.
What's weird to me though is we never usually have a slow build up. We usually have something massive happens, like such as like I remember when all the mods got added to DayZRP. Remember the like red zone and stuff had popped up, and they had like like Windstride's clothing mod and like some really basic mods, right? That just are. I remember when DayZRP didn't have hardly any. Um, and DayZRP finally added like Windstride's clothing. I think they added masses back then. They added quite a few mods and the server pop just boomed from it. Um, I I don't know. I don't know if I haven't been around long enough to see server pop slowly climb back up. Is that's what's happening right now. But I've always noticed the big quote unquote resurrection events. Um, they
Yeah, they come.
yeah, I've noticed.
It's luck
yeah,
though.
such as Neheim launching and stuff like all these big stuff has happened that has restored server pop. Big streamer comes through and plays for a couple months. Um, stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's just a cycle.
Yeah, it's been a cycle. It's an aggressive cycle, but like the thing is, like Daisy, when they open modding, they kind of just it's like the basically what Bohemia said is like it's up to you guys now to play your own game. We're not gonna do anything for you.
Yeah, this is your
Like you
game
make your
now.
own fun now. But like yeah,
Bohem-
back in
dude,
2017, it was all there.
Bohemia really said, they really said we're just gonna re-add old content that we took out the 0.60 update. That's all they've done since then.
That's pretty much it. Really, everything else is just down to the community to keep their own entertainment.
I
Really,
think DayZ will be around for a bit yet too. I mean, DayZ's a buggy game, but it's
yeah.
not an unplayable game.
There's plenty of servers as well. There's still plenty of players.
Oh yeah, but I do think the RP scene will die before the game dies though.
Yeah.
Unless the RP scene is all backed into like one little corner and there's only like one total RP server somewhere around.
Still
But
20,000 people playing DayZ SA.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Peak players 35k. I mean, it's not bad.
Just
know,
want to let
I'm
you guys
sure-
know that we hit 48 minutes.
Perfect. Well, I've run out of the discussion ideas.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm out of ideas too. I don't have anything else to discuss for now.
I think DayZ has been in worse positions. Like I'm going back
2016.
August
2016?
August 2018. There was 1,500 people playing DayZ SA, and this community is still here. So, you know,
Wasn't it 2016? I guess I know. What year was it that DayZRP had like 2 people on it for like the entire year? Like,
Oh,
nobody
Lord.
was playing.
Jeez, I'm glad it didn't.
I don't know if it was an entire year, but there was like a year that it was just completely. I mean, Daisy as a game was completely dead.
Dang.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't completely dead all year, but I do know there was a point where there was just simply nobody playing.
I think you can.
I want to say it was. I want to say it was before Sci Syndicate came.
Force I Syndicate. Yeah, I can see that. And then I know the recent people are playing DayZ more than anything right now was obviously because of the pandemic. So
yeah, February 2020, like massive boom in play.
exactly.
Yeah, DayZ's still got a little bit of life left in it, so it's 20 times better than it was in 2016 according to statistics. So.
I'd like to take this moment to announce that I am now opening up unturned RP. For,
Get out of here, dude.
community launch 2027. We're having some delays. so it's gonna be a
2027.
while.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
You can
we-
buy
we're
your staff
having-
rank now. so you know how to do it.
Pre-order now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay subscription fee to play on it. $25 a month. You
It's-
will our staff members will also have to pay to be a staff member as well. Like
Oh god.
they're gonna do work for the server and then also pay the server to work for them.
Mason's gotta make his money back.
Let's wrap this up.
We're also opening up a coffee shop
There you go. Coffee shop.
called DayZRP Coffee Shop. God. Okay, I'm out of ideas, man. I got nothing.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Why did you edit your thing in the topics for from just talking about white name brutality to white name
Name
oppression?
oppression. Oh my god.
White, yes, stop white name oppression.
Oh my
I
god.
think there's a better ring to it.
It does. It sounds a lot more important. That's for sure.
Well, I think we should start winding down here now.
So to recap, Hofer killed Roland in a fair PvP battle to take over as the server
Yeah.
lead. Hofer has lots of ideas. Second amnesty wave, hopefully soon, at least to me. I don't know what these two think. New staff rules, mentor program. Shout out to Jackfish. Server pop versus RP quality. Kind of cringe, man. Don't see the correlation. I'm just kidding. I'm not flaming.
I offered to take it out. What are you talking? I literally deleted it and then you just copy and paste it back.
That's fine.
Lore events carrying the server. Mr. Moon maybe coming back, at least checking out the server.
Yep. And
White
then,
name oppression, and return Mason status updates when he's off final warning.
all right. Well.
Not soon, TM.
Not soon, TM. Not getting off for a while.
All right. Well, this has been the first episode, DayZRP Podcast. Hopefully we can get a guest on pretty soon. Definitely Alex Jones. That's exactly who we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Barack Obama.
I was thinking Obama, but nah, for real,
yeah.
we should try and get like Red Sky. Red Sky, you're invited to the podcast, man. Come be a guest.
Yeah, come talk about streaming on DayZRP. We can get the streamer perspective.
Let's get Roland in here.
Yeah, let's just get rolling here. Let's just go straight to the top.
I'd like to get Hofer in here, to be honest with you.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, to be honest.
I'll reach out to him after this.
All right, well, that'll do it for the first episode. Thanks, guys, and thanks for listening. Peace.